This is a working piano in Minecraft, with a metronome, 6 different instrument sets it can sound like, and the ability to record multiple songs and play them all back at once. But more on that later. This is a data pack that you can add to your Java Edition worlds, and allows you to add pianos to your world. Yes, multiple. You can add multiple if you want. There will be an installation guide at the time on the screen, or through a video chapter, but once you have it installed, the first thing you need to do is craft it. And you can do that with a block of redstone, a jukebox, string, 2 quartz slabs, a black concrete, and 3 dark oak planks. Now, okay, it's a piano. It looks like an armored stand. That's because I didn't want to have to make a resource pack for this whole thing, because literally the only thing that would need a resource pack and that I would use the resource pack for would be this item model or texture, whatever it would be. I thought it was a bit unnecessary to have to, for you to have to install a resource pack just for this one item. It's only when it's an item. Once you place it down, it looks normal. So yeah, it looks like an armor stand. Because, yeah, technically in this form as an item, it is an armor stand, which means you can right-click to place it, of course, but also dispensers can place it if you put it in one. Anyway, once you've placed your piano, you can play it by right-clicking the notes. All the white keys and the black keys work. It's got 73 notes, going from F#1 to F#7. So yeah, not quite a full piano, but pretty close, I guess. I would actually recommend not being in creative mode when you're using this, because all it takes to remove the whole piano is just breaking any of these 4 blocks, and then they'll be gone. Breaking these are fine, but any of these 4 blocks will break the piano, so you'll want to be careful. Maybe just, don't be in creative mode so you can't accidentally just click it once and then, oops, you destroyed your whole piano. Because also you can access it like through here, clicking through the keys, because they're not really solid blocks, and there are some things that you can left click, so you might be left clicking into everything. So I'd recommend not being in creative mode. You probably just do like survival mode or something. If you're in like a survival world, then obviously you can be in survival mode still, because like this would work in survival and everything. You may have noticed when I step on this, I get slowness 5, just so that, it's mainly so that it zooms in your screen so that you can see the keys better. If you don't want it to zoom in, I guess you could change your FOV to something and then it looks normal again, but like increase it a lot. But you can also use the FOV effects slider, and that will change how effective it is, at least the zoom. But there's not really a way to actually disable the slowness or anything. But it's also, I guess, there just so that you don't walk too fast if you were walking to different keys or something. But you don't have to be standing on this at all. You can be off of it and play notes, and you can be here and still, even without the effect, you can be playing notes and everything. I would also recommend lowering your mouse sensitivity, because right now it can be very, barely moving. You can move across a whole note and go too far, so you could set it to 50 if you wanted or something. And this is a lot better, I don't know, you can just, it's kind of a lot easier to get the note you want without barely moving your mouse or something. I think I can handle it at 75 or something is probably good. I could go a little higher maybe. So you don't have to set it too low if you don't want to. But you may have seen in the intro, I was doing a bunch of notes at once. You can do that by changing your keybinds. You can set the use item placed block. By default, it's a right mouse button or something, but if you set it to an actual key on your keyboard, then if you just hold that down, it will play. It'll constantly play. So that's kind of fun to do sometimes. You don't have to do that or anything, obviously. It's just, if you want to, you can just individual right clicks if you want. But that's not all this piano can do. As you can see, there's a bunch of other settings here. The first one I'm going to go over is this. It looks like a keyboard right now, like a piano, I guess, because that's what it is right now. But if you right click this, it cycles between 6 options here. The second one is a drum. Well, it sounds like drums. So there's like a kick drum, a snare drum, and a hat, I guess. It's like a kind of like, it sounds like a click. Then there is a guitar icon, which is a guitar and banjo. And also a flute, which I know doesn't make sense with the icon, but yeah, it's a flute. Next is, this kind of looks like a ladder or a rail, but it's supposed to be a xylophone. There's not like a xylophone emoji, so I couldn't use one. So it's like kind of looks like a vertical xylophone or something. But yeah, it's got what's called an iron xylophone. Kind of sounds like a vibraphone. And then a cowbell, which sounds similar to a xylophone. And then there's an actual xylophone. And then there is electronic sounds. So this has a like a electronic bass. It kind of sounds, well, it's supposed to be a didgeridoo, but I don't know, it kind of sounded like some sort of electronic bass or something. And then there's a pling, which is, I guess, like an electric piano sound. And then there's a square wave. And then finally there's just, looks like a bomb. It's just like random sound effects. Well, I guess they're not random technically. They are the same. Like specific notes will be specific sound effects. So it's consistent at least. I'll go through all of those sounds near the end of the video, but for now I'll just move on to the metronome. Yeah, that was the last one. And then it's back to piano, which has a kind of, it's kind of just like a normal, well, it's not really, I don't know. It's got a generic bass, I guess. And then a harp, or kind of a normal piano. And then a bell. Yeah, that was the default one, which you were hearing originally. Anyway, the metronome. So you can turn it on with this black button. There we go. We get metronome sounds. I don't really know how loud they are, but I'm sure you can hear them. So there's those. It flashes too. Oh yeah, you can change the beats per minute, although there aren't that many options. Like if I go up, it's 133, then 150, then 171, then 200, 240, 300, 400, 600, 1,200. And it can go down, 109, 100, 92, 85, blah, blah, blah. As you go down, it gets more, like there's more, it's like more options, I guess. Like now it's not even going a whole BPM each time I click, but before it was going many beats per minute before each time I clicked. Like now it's going 85, 92, 100, 109, 120, 133. And so it's kind of weird the way it does that. You can't choose any beats per minute. You have to stick to a set of options. It's just kind of how it has to work, because Minecraft only runs at 20 ticks per second, so you can't really do something that wouldn't align with that almost, I guess. And there's also time signature, which is just how many beats there are per measure. So this is 4/4. This is 1/4. Every beat is a new measure. And then 2/4. 3/4. And then 4/4 default. So yeah, and it can go all the way up to 16/4. I don't know if that's I don't know if there's any real time signatures that go that high, but you can if you want. There's probably like other kinds that like might change the second number, but I don't really know how those work. So all it really lets you do is choose how many beats there are per measure. Yeah, default is 4. Anyway, that is it. So for the metronome, you might wonder actually why I made one when you could probably just use a real metronome. The reason is actually if you use a real metronome, I mean, it'd work, but if you use this recording feature, it could get out of sync, or just be out of sync, I guess. So there's not really much you could do. I mean, there kind of is, but not much. So, but if you use the in-game metronome, it pretty much guarantees it will stay in time as long as you don't like randomly change the BPM or something like that. It'll be all in time, in sync. Anyway, so yes, this does recording, but that's not all. I'm not really the first person to make something like this. There have been pianos in Minecraft before, but one major difference between a real-life piano and all these Minecraft pianos is that you can't play multiple notes at once, because it's always just look at the note you want to play, and then you can play it. But then that's it. If you want to play another note, you have to look at that one and then play that one. So if I had this, and I wanted to play this at the same time, well, I can't really do that. I can try like, nope. Oh, how'd it go? Okay, let me, nope. Yeah, it's hard. You can't really do it at all until now. So these are the tracks and channels. It might seem kind of complicated, but it's not really that complicated, I guess. So the tracks are like completely separate songs. They're just supposed to be if you like made a song and you're like, oh, but I want to make another song without deleting one, then use a different track. But that's kind of it. They're just like completely separate songs. They're not supposed to be different parts to the same song or anything like that. They're supposed to be completely separate songs. But you don't really have to use more than one, or I guess any. But yeah, I mean, if you want to record songs, then yes. But anyway, the channels are the individual parts to each song. So each track has 16 channels, which technically means you have 256 channels in total, but kind of 16 per track. So yeah, really, it's kind of like 16 at a time. Anyway, I'll explain it more later, but if you just, well, okay, I guess I'll explain that you can right click these to switch. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you can right click. That's how you change the metronome. You just right click. But anyway, you can right click these to change which one's selected. But if you just leave it at default and hit record, you can start recording. And then hitting either of the buttons will, so if you hit record again, it'll stop it, or you can hit the stop button to stop it. But now if I hit play, it plays the notes. So that's how you do it. Or yeah, that's how you can record something. But if it's playing, you can hit hitting either the stop button or the record button will just stop it. So when it's when it's playing or recording, both of the buttons will just stop it. So yeah, that's how you can stop it. You can use either of the buttons when it's playing or recording, but obviously the individual buttons do the play button will play it and the record button will record when it's not doing anything. So if I can play it, of course. I've already shown that. And you can stop it mid playing as well, obviously. But yeah, as I've been doing, I guess. Or at least I did that time. So, but if you try to record when you've already recorded, it says could not start recording, clear the current channel to record to it again. Or you can, of course, go to another channel and start recording. So this is where the multiple songs, or not, well, yeah, multiple channels playing multiple notes at the same time comes in. So yeah, if you, so if I hit record, well, that wasn't very good. So now if I play it though, yeah, it kind of plays those notes, but you might notice like, oh, I don't like the way it was sounded, but how am I supposed to change that? You could, how do you reset it? Well, there's these buttons, of course. right-clicking them actually won't technically do anything, I guess. You have to double-click them. So I don't need to reset the whole track, but they do work the same. So that's all you have to know is it'll say press right button or whatever mine's just right-click, the same that you're using to play notes and pretty much interact with everything. It says press right button again to clear selected channel. So if I don't like the timing of that one, I can just press it again while that is red, pretty much double click it, and it will clear the selected channel. So now it's black to a gray block, because that's how the color change works, but I guess I'll get into that later. But yeah, I can try recording again. Yeah, that was good enough. So anyway, that's how you can kind of play multiple notes at the same time. Of course, you can do another one by right-clicking the next channel and playing it. Yeah. No idea if that will really sound good, but yeah, I don't really know, but it doesn't really sound good. So maybe if you want to restart the whole thing, you can also just delete the track in the same way. But, be warned, of course, deleting those will get rid of all your notes. So, yeah. Anyway, actually, let me try this again. Okay, that was nice. Now let's try. Okay, this is a lot better. Now I'll try again. Oh, no, that was wrong one. Wrong notes. Okay, that was better. Good enough. Anyway, there's all your notes. So, that's kind of it. Well, that's not exactly it. There's also muting. You can mute channels by left-clicking. Not tracks, but channels. So, there. If you notice what that did, you probably figured it out. You can see the keys playing. But yeah, you can... Yeah. There's no soloing or anything. You can't solo one. The only way to do that would just be mute all of them, except for the one you want to play. So that, I guess, kind of works to solo it, but you can also play a lower note. You can play whatever notes you want. There. I've added those notes to my song, but I don't want to do that. So, yeah, you can mute them, and if you mute all of them, then you won't hear anything. You can even mute channels that don't have anything recorded to them yet, and then it kind of just, they'll be pre-muted or whatever, just kind of already muted. So, yeah, I don't know why you'd really want to do that. But yeah, so this is the coloring works. The gray hasn't been recorded to. Green means it has been recorded to. Doesn't necessarily mean it has notes. As long as you just start recording, that just counts. So that means it's been recorded to. The black means it's empty, as in hasn't been recorded to, and also is muted. But the red means it has been recorded to and is muted. You can kind of see what I'm doing. Like you can see by muting the greens, they turn red, and muting the grays, they turn black. Obviously, muting something that already doesn't have any notes in it doesn't do anything, really, because it already doesn't play anything. But if you were to eventually record to it, it would already be muted. I just don't know why you do that. Also, you cannot mute tracks. Did I already say that? I don't know. But you can't mute tracks because that's not really how tracks work. So I haven't exactly shown you. As I was saying before, a track... The individual tracks are not supposed to be different parts of a song. They're supposed to be completely separate songs. So if I switch to another track, I guess I'll unmute these. If I switch to another track, it looks like all the channels are gone, but they're not really gone. It's just, it's new channels. It's channels for the second track instead of the first one, because each track has 16 channels. So of course I can record to this. There. That's one, and I can do another one. Yeah, and then I can do one more. Does that sound good? I don't really know. So yeah, the point is that like these are all separate, and so like I can go back to the first one now, and it's the old one, but I can go to the second one and it's the new one. They're actually really similar. I don't know why I was doing that. They're really, I recorded pretty much the same thing, but yeah, okay, I make it obvious. I like adding like a bass now. Obviously this one has it, but back to the first track it doesn't, because it's a different song. So that's how that works. They remember their muting, like if they're muted and they're separate. So like if channel 1's muted in track 1, that doesn't mean it's muted in track 2, but others might be. So it always remembers that and everything. And if you play, it will just play the currently selected track. And recording will record to the currently selected channel of the currently selected track. So yeah, if I start playing this, nothing will ever play. And if I start recording, it'll start a brand new track. It will add to a brand new track, and it won't change any of the other tracks' channels. You also may have noticed, of course, these also get marked with green when they've been recorded to. Like if you record to any of the channels, it just marks that as recorded on the channel, of course. So then it also shows that in the track. The track will be green. And again, there's no muting of tracks, so there's never going to be any black or red tracks. Of course, if you delete the last channel in a track, or the last channel that has something recorded to it in a track, then the track will go back to being gray. And note that muting random channels, even when nothing's recorded, won't mark the track as having anything in it, so it'll look like it's empty. And you can also move the selected channel, so it looks like this doesn't have anything in it, but if you go to it, there's actually sort of stuff in it. There's just no actual recordings, which is what it's tracking and remembering, I guess. It's what it's showing you by the track being green. It just means it's got something recorded in it, as in one of its channels has been recorded to. But yeah, anyway, if that doesn't really make sense, it doesn't really matter. You probably understand by just what is happening. Of course, you can delete entire tracks if you want. I think I've already showed this. But yeah, now everything is gone except for this one, which the first one recorded. Now, there is more you can do, or at least like one more thing, which is the instrument set can be changed per channel. So I can make a drum beat and start recording and be like, there we go. Now I can play the whole thing, and yeah, I don't know, plays some drums and everything. And it remembers the old ones, like the old channels, as you can see, go back to the regular piano sound. And this one is the drums, because yeah, it shows you the selected channels instrument set as this, and you can change it too, and you can even change it after it's been recorded. So if I change this to like the electronic sounds, then now you'll notice they have the different sound, and the drums are still the same. You could change this if you want, but it wasn't really supposed to be an instrument. It was supposed to be drums, so sounds weird. You can do the sound effects. Yeah, that is kind of funny though, just switching them all to sound effects, seeing what it sounds like. Obviously, it doesn't really make sense if you didn't know what you were doing when you were just recording it normally, because you probably wouldn't know what sound effects those corresponds to. But of course, you can always do a different, different instruments. Oh, by the way, you cannot select different channels or different tracks or delete any channels or tracks while it's playing or recording. However, you can mute stuff. So like if I mute the drums and then decide midway through I want to add the drums, well then for that part after, since I unmuted it, the drums came back, or maybe you're like, oh, I want to mute them, then they stop. So you can do that. Of course, you can just mute all of them. Yeah, you can do this, like, or have only the drums. Anyway, that's pretty much everything to it. I think the sounds are pretty loud, so maybe for like, I guess we could find out. Well, no. Okay, that's not quite true. You can't leave it. Like, if you leave it, it'll actually just stop playing the notes. And then it'll resume once you get back in range. But if you have someone near the piano, then you should be able to go pretty far away from it, and it will still be heard. So you can like play it, and I don't know, but you might have like a 64 block radius, but that's kind of, I don't know, probably within like 32, maybe 48 blocks or something. You should be able to, everyone should be able to hear it. But you have to, someone has to be close to it. So if you go too far away, if you go more than 8 blocks away, it won't even try to play anything, because it's kind of laggy to run all the pianos. So I only run them when there's someone within 8 blocks of it. Run them as in, do most of the commands for it, like actually playing the notes and everything, and ticking the metronome. If I go far away, it will stop ticking. Yeah. To remove it, as I've kind of already shown, you just break the blocks, but of course be warned, that will reset everything, so you'll lose all your tracks and channels if you do that. And anything else that might have been there. Of course, yeah, so that's that. You don't get the piano back because, well, every time you place one, it not only puts all the stuff, I guess, it also puts these blocks. The blocks it puts are these. So these are real blocks. The other blocks here are fake because they had to be like sideways. I don't have to put like sideways stairs and that, vertical slabs. That's not really a real thing, so they're not really blocks, but these are the real blocks. So you could break these and of course break these. But if I gave you the piano back, you would be able to place it, break it, get these blocks, and if you got the piano back, you could place it again, get more blocks, collect the piano again, place it again, get more blocks, and you can get infinite dark oak planks and dark oak trapdoors. So I didn't want you to be able to yeah, I didn't want you to be able to do that. So you can't. So if you break the piano, you won't get it back. But you can, of course, decorate it. You can add stuff to it. You can make it look like a real piano or something. But by default, it doesn't have much. You can't put a piano if there's not enough room. So like this, I can't put a piano because it would have to be replacing blocks, and it doesn't want to do that. Also, you can't put a piano within 5 blocks of another piano or an existing piano. So yeah, so you can't put them too close together. It might get kind of laggy if you put too many pianos at once. I mean, it's not going to be super easy to probably lag it, but I don't know. Yeah, we can see, I don't know how many, what are we doing? Yeah, okay, we're okay. But do keep in mind, like, being close to a piano causes significantly more lag than being more than, or at least 8, or more than, I don't know. If you're at least 8 blocks away from it, it will be significantly less laggy. So, yeah, so right now we're not doing too bad at all. Technically, not lagging at all. If we add too many pianos, it might get laggy. So just, I don't know. I've added, like, oh, come on. A lot of pianos here, but we're not technically lagging yet. If we get too close to them, yeah, now it's lagging. Okay, yeah, so this is a bit laggy. I'm looking at. I guess we can look at this. This chart, this the big red one, is the kind of lag, and well, it's not really lag. I mean, it is, but going above this, well, but going above, I guess, the green kind of. So like above the top of the chart. Like if I get too close, you'll notice it. Okay, it's actually pretty okay. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Can we add one more or something like? Oh yeah, I really get it lagging. Yeah. Okay. So you can see it's kind of going above that line. That means it's actually lagging. Anything below that isn't technically lagging. So yeah, if we are far away from them, it's it's not really that good, but technically it's not lagging. You know, if you it's pretty much if you see any of this green, then it's not lagging. But if you get close, oh, it's slower, it's having trouble, but technically we still see some green. And then, getting too close to too many of them at once, it's really starting to lag. And so, yeah, obviously you don't want to have this many pianos at once. Right now, this is also 4,000 entities to render, so that's a lot. You might start getting frame rate lag, although the frame rate lag isn't nearly as noticeable as the actual like server lag, so that's nice, I guess, when it comes to frame rate lag, or your frame rates, I guess. Yeah. So but yeah, anyway, just don't add too many pianos at once, and also just don't be near too many at once. So yeah, I like having 3 pianos at once, you know, even using all of them, but as long as you're not using more than 1 or 2 at a time, probably you could use all 3. Yeah, you should be fine. I guess now I will go through each of the 73 sound effect sounds that there are. So yeah, I guess here we go. So yeah, those are all the 73 sounds, and again, they are like the same. Like if you play the same note, it'll be that same sound. So yeah, it'll always, you know, it's not just actually random. So you can choose the sound. Like if you want to add a sound effect to your song, like a splash or something, you can do that, and it'll always be a splash when it plays that. It's not going to just pick another sound effect. So yeah, you can, you know, add sound effects and everything. And yeah, that is, I think, it. I mean, there's not really anything else to say. So I guess I'll just start recording a song, you know, and yeah, so some of you will probably know it. Yeah, I guess I'll start. And you can probably, if you know it, you probably already tell what it is if you know the song. But there's also another left hand, or there's a left hand that I will also add. Nah, that isn't right timing. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, I've got to remember the song. It's not as easy as playing a real piano. So yeah, that's it. If you didn't know the song, it's called Fallen Down by Toby Fox from Undertale. Now, if I play it, of course, it sounds correct. So yeah, that's great. But if you this isn't like a real thing. You can't do this as a survival. It's not like an official feature of it. But if you wanted to, you can tick rate 40 or something. And now if I play it, it plays twice as fast because the default tick rate in Minecraft is 20. You could go really fast, like 60. It might get laggy, I don't know. Okay, it's not, technically it's not too laggy yet. You could make it slower if you want. But I don't know why you'd do that. So yeah, it's not like an official feature. I kind of could have, but it would be kind of complicated, and I don't know how I would like set it up to do it. It'd be kind of weird. So I didn't do that. It only normally will play at the speed that you recorded it. But anyway, of course, as I showed, you can switch the instrument set. So now we can play it on a banjo. Yeah. Oh, that was different. We could do the xylophone ones. Yeah, you can. That's funny. Oh yeah, we got this one. And then of course the sound effects, which isn't going to sound good. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, of course you could do drums, but that also probably wouldn't sound good. I don't know, you can kind of tell what song it is, but not quite. Anyway. Yeah, so you can do that. That's kind of, I mean, I don't know, there's probably more, there's like a bass to the song or something, I don't really know it, how to play it on a piano at least. Anyway, you can still add more. I just added notes that don't sound very good. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, oh yeah, I was going to try for fun, trying it again, but faster. Okay, I messed that up, but... Well, I was too fast. I didn't think it was going that fast. Wait, I don't remember how it goes up. Yeah, it's really hard to play it super fast. But I guess if you're really skilled at it, you could. So to install this, what you'll need to do is select the world you want to install it to, click Edit, and then Open World folder. Then once you're in the folder, you can go into the Data Packs folder And there might be stuff in here if you put stuff in here before, or if there's not, then that's fine. But then all you have to do is download the file in the description and then put that file into this folder. You don't have to go into it or anything. It's a zip file. Well, I guess it's like a zip folder, but you don't have to go into it or anything. You can just download the zip file and put it into this data packs folder, and then that's it. You can go back into your game and then load the world and everything, and then you can just craft it. Yeah, I'm gonna need a crafting table. Well, I have the ingredients in my hotbars. If I do this, I think there we go. So you don't have to do that. You just have to get the ingredients any way you want. But yeah, then you can do this, and then you get a piano, and you can put it in your world, and then you can just record and stuff. You probably can't hear that very well. But yeah. So yeah, that's it for the video. So yes, if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Hope you enjoyed!